Hello, all of my crafty friends. Welcome to my channel, Pretty Pink Craft Room. Thank you so much for joining me today for another crafty video. It has been quite a few days, more days than I wanted between my video postings, but with spring break and family obligations, I was not able to post as much as I wanted to. So I am very excited to be back with you today. So today's project we will be working on together is another journal insert, a flat journal insert, as you can see. And it is a gatefold insert with a tag closure. So again, I'm working on more closure ideas that I can use as a variety instead of using maybe Velcro or ribbon to close something down. I'm trying other methods. And so this one is using a tag to act as your closure on the insert. So I'll go ahead and show you how it looks on the inside. So again, the front here is the tag that acts as your closure. That's how the tag looks, and then I just added another journaling card there. And then when you, let me put this over to the side, then you release and it opens the gatefold, and then there's two pockets here. And then in the middle there's another pocket, and I just added a little booklet for extra journaling. Towards the back there is another tag here, and then the back is its very own tag as well. So that is how it comes together, and then I'll put it back down, and then I'll show you the other one. It's pretty much the same exact design, it just has a different paper style, a much brighter paper style. But let me show you that one too. So this is the other one. Again, the tag is your front closure, and then it releases the gatefold, and then there's the two pockets on the side. And in the middle, I just added some more journaling paper there. And then there's a larger tag on the back here too. Okay, so that is the project that we will be working on together today. And if you are interested or would like to see one demonstrated or would like to join me in creating one today, I hope you will stick around and craft with me. To start the project, I created this tag shape as my base, and this measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. Of course, you would scale this down or scale it larger in measurements or smaller depending on your journal size page. So I figured based on the journal I was starting to create, this would be an ideal size for me. So I cut my paper down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. I do have this shape up at the top. What I did for that is I have this die. It's a very old die. I want to say that I got it from KS Crafts. If I find it, then I will certainly link it in the description, but I bought it a long time ago. I didn't want the entire shape though, but in case you have not done this before, if you just want a portion of the die, then you can just tape that, use some washi tape, tape it down, tape the die down to the paper on the part of the design that you want, and just you run it through your die machine or your cutting machine just for that section that you want cut into the shape of the die that you're using. So that's all I did, was I used some washi tape, taped it down to the paper, and only cut as far as what I wanted the shape to be. I didn't want the bottom part, I just wanted the top, so that's the only part I ran through the die machine. So just a quick tip there. So this is the base part, and then I have another sheet of paper, and this paper measures 8 1/2 by 5. 8 1/2 by 5. And again, I've done some pre-cutting or some pre-scoring to kind of help the video along. So on this 8 1/2 side of the paper, I have scored at 2 1/8, and then I flipped it over and scored again at 2 1/8. So once you do that, then you can go ahead and fold your pages in. Let me get my bone folder and crease it down. So now you have this here, and what you do is you just affix these two together. And so now these would be on each other or glued on top of each other like so. I am going to create a pocket on the inside, so of course I'll only be gluing in a U shape and attaching it here. So let's go ahead and do that together. I really like this pattern too. I was trying to figure out a way to use them, but I think I may have to just create another project, because I do have another sheet that has this paper, this design on it. So I'll have to create another project that allow me to use the windows. This paper, by the way, and I apologize, you guys, sometimes I get questions like this and I try to remind myself to say where is the paper from, so that if anyone wants to use it, they can. This is a Mintay Papers collection. I don't know the name offhand, but I will try to remember to link it in the description, so that if it is something that you would like to purchase, you certainly can do that as well. I wanted to use this because I really like the spring colors. And with the spring season upon us, I wanted to use something that was more bright and festive as well, or match the spring season too. So this is how that looks now. So now you have a pocket here, and then you have your gatefold like so. So now let's go ahead and work on our 2 pockets that will go on the front. For those 2 pockets, I've cut 2 small pieces of paper that measure 2 1/4 by 2 1/2, 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. What you do want to remember is that these are opposites. So you want to make sure that as you score them to create the pocket, you score them on opposite sides. For example, since this is going to be my right pocket, I scored this at 2 and then rotated it and scored it at 1/4 inch. Because this is my left pocket though, I scored this at 1/4 inch and then rotated and scored at another 1/4 inch. So just something to keep in mind, that when you're doing these types of pockets, just try to remember that they are opposites. So I am going to go ahead and miter these corners so that the pockets can lay pretty flatly. So all I've done is mitered those corners there. I will do the same on this one. Okay, so again, these pockets are going to be like so. Now I want to have angles on these, and I want the angles to match. So the easiest way for me to do that and to make sure that they match is to flip them against each other. So they were like this, and I flipped them against each other, back them against each other, line them up, and then just kind of eyeball where I want my pockets to, my pocket angle to be. Now, of course, you can certainly measure this, make it more symmetric or more equal, but I thought it was pretty sufficient to go ahead and just eyeball it. And so I'm just going to cut that angle like so. So if you notice, I cut from the very corner here, but I left some down here. I didn't cut all the way to that edge or to that that ending part here, because I want to leave some to hold the tag in place. So I want this bottom portion here to hold my tag in place. So now I can go ahead and add this here and add this here, and now I will have the pockets on the front that the tag can now lay in. So let me go ahead and add some glue here and here. Okay, very nice. So just trying to make sure I even that out and that it's not crooked. Okay, so now I can do the same on this side. Add that glue. And then add this one on here like so. Okay, so now you have your 2 pockets in the front, and they will now be able to secure your tag down. Let me just go ahead and give that some pressure to get the glue to adhere and to stay down. All right, very nice. Okay, so now let's work on the inside. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way too. Get that out of the way. So let's work on our inside pocket. We have a large pocket and 2 small pockets that go with it as well. So in the inside, there is a large middle pocket that I created. Let me get that piece. So this piece measures 4 5/8 by 2.5. 4 5/8 by 2.5, and I scored at 1/4 of an inch on 3 sides, excuse me. And so I'll just miter these edges so that we can go ahead and lay this down. I also figured that if you pre-cut these items, it could really be kind of a mass make thing too. If you wanted to just use extra papers you have left over and just create these to stand by in journals that you create, or to mass make and give to others, you could do that as well, because it's just such a really simple project that you could totally just make several of these in one sitting. And I just want to make sure it's not even. One second, let me even that out. I'm trying to make sure I center it properly in the middle panel, part 2. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that is our middle pocket now finished. And now let's work on our side pockets. Now for the side, I just cut, it depends on your preference, but I just cut strips of paper that were just leftovers. So this is just like a 1 inch by 5 inch piece of paper. I was just trying to use something as a leftover, and I cut 2 of those, and so one goes here and one goes here, and they will both act as my pockets. Now I'm staying a little bit away from that that crease here, because I don't want, again, I don't want to make anything not be able to lay down. So I want to just get just a hair's breadth away from that crease there, and add this on here. And then let's do this on the other side. Okay. All right, perfect, perfect. See how quickly this is coming along too, right? Okay, so let me grab some tags so that we can actually add it to it, because it's pretty much just the decorating and adding of the tags, and then your project is pretty much complete. So let me get some tags together, and then we will work on inserting those and adding those to the project too. So to save some time, I paused the video and I just did my little eyelets and ribbon into the tags so that I could insert them. So this, I did it for the back tag here. This was the back that has the pocket here. Then I did another one and added a yellow ribbon for this one, and this one will go here in the back like so. And you can always choose to adjust this if you want to make it shorter or thinner in width. You can certainly do that as well. For the inside pocket, I created this little booklet like so, and this is the front. Added a little pull tab, and so that will go inside here. There's certainly enough space where you could also add other things. Like I was thinking that I could also add a journal card that could go at the back of it as well. Insert that, and it could go here like that. Okay, for the sides I did create just these little thin strips of small journaling spots. If you want to use them for that, added again some pull tabs so it can come in and out fairly easy. That will go on this side, and then this one will go on this side like so. I didn't add any more ribbon because I thought that would bulk it out, so I just left the pull tabs with nothing else on them like that. So then when you close it, it's still pretty flat. And this is the last tag that I will use to act as my closure. Very pretty tag with the woman there and the flowers and the bird. And I do have a little birdhouse to add onto it up here. I did add a little bit of dimension to the birdhouse to make it kind of stand out a little bit. I just added some foam squares there. But as long as it is flat down here, it won't block anything. But it'll still go down into the pockets like so, and still act as your closure for your entire insert and still remain pretty flat. So I'm just going to add this one up top. And let me just remove the backing off of these. Let's see. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue so it can be sure that it stays in place. And then I'll add this up top like so. Okay. That looks pretty good, right? Okay, now for the pockets here, I did consider adding some of this ribbon to bring out the pink and the pinks on it too. And I'm still debating on it. I don't know if it's too much or if it's, you know, just adds it at just the right amount. And it looks pretty good because the pockets kind of look plain to me. Excuse me. They look kind of plain to me without something there. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. Hopefully that was you guys' decision too, was to add it on to there too. So let me go ahead and get the fabric tack glue and I'll add it on, and then I will be back with our final walkthrough of the project. And here is our final project. I did go ahead and add the ribbon. I do think that it needed it. The pockets were plain without it, but hopefully you agree, and it's something that you would have done for yourself as well. But here is our final project, our final product. It has the tag in the front, just like we created together, and then there's the gatefold, and then it opens up like so. Now, there is opportunity here to, you know, add more dimension, to add more decoration if you are not trying to put it inside of a journal. If you're just wanting it to stand alone by itself, then you can certainly add a lot more decoration than what I did. I left it pretty flat because I do want to use these in journals. So the opportunities of how to expand on it and to make it even more are pretty endless. So you can certainly do a lot more than what you've seen me do here with these 3 projects. But that is the extent of the project for today. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've seen how super simple it is and that you might be inclined to make one as well for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel, and I look forward to doing even more crafty projects with you all very, very soon. So take care and have a wonderful day. Until next time, bye.